Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Logan Everett.
You're listening to The Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Thanks for being here, Logan.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Well, what do you do?
Tell everybody what you do.
I'm a real estate professional in Jackson, Michigan. And I sell houses.
So
Nice.
did you want to be an agent when you grew up? Or you were like 5 and you're like, got my suit and tie on, I'm an agent.
5-year-old
What was your
Logan wearing a
plan?
suit and tie.
Yeah, 5-year-old. I was like, all right, well, this looks like it's going to be my job for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
No, well, I think when I was a kid, we actually have home videos, and my mom got us those for Christmas this year. So we got to go back and watch them.
So cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's so when we were kids, my mom would ask us, "What do you want to be when you grow up?"
Yeah.
And almost every time it's, I want to be a professional athlete or a firefighter. My dad's a firefighter, so that was in the running for a while.
Yeah.
But on that video, I think I was 4, and it was Christmas. My mom asked me, I was like, I want to be a ping pong player. So that didn't pan out.
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, I guess ping pong was.
Are you good at ping pong?
I mean, I'm not bad. I probably could. I could develop that, but yeah, I don't know.
Logan, the professional ping pong player / real estate agent.
Yeah.
So what did you did you go right into it out of high school, or did you go to college or anything? Or what was your thing?
I did not have a straight path, as far as, how I got here,
Yeah.
But I did for sure want to be some kind of professional athlete of some sort. I played hockey.
Right out of high school. That's
Yeah. My little brother played hockey. We all played hockey. We played, I played football. I played baseball. All my brothers and I all played different sports, but the one sport that we had in common was hockey. And so I wanted to be, I wanted to be in the NHL. And then baseball rolled around, and I was really good at baseball. And so I put all my time, all my effort into baseball. And so in high school, I was decorated in high school, and then my senior year, I was all state, and then being all state. And then, I went to Northwest, and Northwest, they don't have the best athletic director. You know who you are. And, yeah.
Call him out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So anyway, all state baseball, no scholarships, no nothing. So I tried to walk on at Central Michigan. And I had tried out. I went to all the camps. I knew some of the players in there. I knew a lot of people at Central Michigan. I knew some of the football players. I mostly knew some of the baseball players. And at the time, in high school, I did bodybuilding. So I had a lot of size, and there was. I put in a lot of time and a lot of effort into all my sports. So bodybuilding pretty much got me to where, my all my awards in baseball, football and the other sports. But anyway, I spent my senior year, my entire summer, every single day. My best friend and I, Greg Hartman, he actually played. He was on Central's team at the time. And he's like, dude, let's get you good to go, squared away. So you look good at these camps and these tryouts.
Yeah.
So I packed on 15 pounds. We were out hitting, we were throwing, we were doing everything possible.
Daily. Yeah.
At Northwest High School. And I tore up their field. They weren't super happy with me. But I was like, I don't care what you guys do. You guys had no help, getting me to where I am. So I'm just going to use what I got, and they couldn't do anything about it. It's public. Yep. So anyway, I show up to tryouts, and I'm trying to do my thing. I'm trying really hard, obviously. And there's other players there that are at the tryout, the guys who are already on the team.
Yeah.
And they see me with a chip on my shoulder. I'm not being a jerk or anything, but I guess I was obviously competing for a position that they had already had.
Yeah.
So they kind of just
didn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they kind of knew who I was, they knew I was trying to get on the team. They knew who Greg was. So anyway, long story short, I show up tryouts. I'm jacked. This summer I was 225 pounds, almost no body fat. And I was, I thought I was doing good. And then, like after tryouts, I didn't hear anything. Didn't hear anything. One of the other players said that they didn't want anything to do with me because I thought I was taking steroids. And I was like, are you serious?
Oh,
like,
man.
I did all that work.
Because you put in all, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I called, made a call to that head coach at the time. And I probably shouldn't have done this because I wanted to try out for the football team too after that. And I kind of just like ripped into him a little bit. I was like, listen, like, I don't know who you think you are. Because I was extremely upset. I'm just, my testosterone.
You did all that work.
Yeah.
I did all that work. I'm young. I'm like, listen, I don't know who you think you are, but you don't know who I am. Like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Trying to tell me that I take steroids and all this stuff. And which that wasn't even a factor. It's just hard work. People don't know what hard work is. Daily dedicated hard work.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that was what took me to my next route. Couldn't walk on baseball or football team. So I was like, all right, well, I might as well keep bodybuilding, do that full time instead of trying to do a sport.
So from sports, you went into the bodybuilding full time?
That was my transition into bodybuilding. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So bodybuilding took me places where I never thought I'd go before. And again, hard work and dedication every single day. People don't realize, I got a lot of grief for being as big as I was, for as young as I was.
Yeah.
But I've always surrounded myself with great people, great role models. I've always been told to surround yourself with people who you want to be, or who have similar goals and ambitions. So that's what I always did. I never hung out with anybody less than that. And so I did everything to a T. You do your hour of cardio in the morning. You do your 2-hour lift. You eat every 2 hours. You eat what is on this paper, basically. Eat your rice and chicken, which I don't eat rice and chicken today because of that. I just like
too much rice and chicken.
Religious, yeah. That's so I got my little brother doing that stuff right now, and he's doing all right. But anyway, I was getting up there inside. I was getting up there, and I ended up getting a sponsorship from Max Muscle. At the time, I was working at GNC, so I was getting discounts on supplements. So I was taking all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And then my first show was like a real eye opener. I was like, all right, I might be able to do this for a while.
Yeah. How long did you end up doing it for?
I like bodybuild, like competitively. I competed in one show. I won the Mr. Michigan, and I think it was 2017. That was Teen Mr. Michigan. Mm-hmm. I was 19 at the time, and then so I won that. And then I was prepping for another show, and typical college kid, I ran out of money, and it's expensive. If you even with a sponsor, because my second show, I was sponsored by Max Muscle my first show, and they gave me my supplements that I needed. Mm-hmm. And then, but that doesn't, nobody pays for your food. Your food is like 90% of everything.
You eat every 2 hours.
You got to eat every 2 hours, and you're eating like
chicken and rice.
Your premium meat. You can't eat, a 27-cent ramen noodle thing. You're eating jasmine rice. It can't be white rice. It's got to be a certain.
So from the bodybuilding, did you just go straight into real estate from that? Like, how did that? Those are two separate.
So
things. Like, how did that come about?
Well, when I was a kid, we moved around quite a bit. I lived in 7 different houses growing up as a kid. So, and then my parents' realtor was Susie Molman, which Susie Molman, I wouldn't be here today without Susie Molman. She walked into GNC one day, and at the time, it couldn't have been more perfect timing because I was working at GNC, and I had all this drive, all this ambition. I'm like, and I was fed up with college because college is, college and I just don't mesh.
It's not for everyone. That's all right. Yeah.
College is very, very, very frustrating for me. Not because of, not because it's hard, but because of the whole principle behind it. That's another conversation. Yep. Have me back on for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was fed up with everything. I was broke. I wanted to make some money. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I was me, my boss, and my other coworker at GNC. We were having a great time. We were killing it. We were selling a ton, and we made a little bit of commission. Mm-hmm. And that little bit of commission was just enough to get a little taste in your mouth for I want more.
Yep.
And I just called. I was living in my wife's parents' basement at the time too. So I was like, I was like, let's get out of here. Yep. So, I'm grateful for him, but, anyway, I had just called my boss's boss for a raise. So I'm like, I don't want to make this minimum wage. I'm making this guy so much money. Yeah. And, the least he can do is give me another $2 an hour.
Yeah.
And, he gave me the runaround, whatever. But that was and then I called him again the day before Susie came into GNC. And I was like, listen, like, you got to give me a raise or I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. And
then the next day she walks in.
Susie walks in.
Oh,
she's
man.
buying her stuff. She's on the phone with a client too. And I could tell, like, and I liked how she was talking to him. I was like, all right. I was like, hey, Susie, how you doing? She knew me.
Yeah.
She knew me since I was a kid. And that night I reached out to her.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I become a real estate agent?
Yeah. Like, I'm going to get into this.
Yeah. I wanted a performance-based job. I wanted 100% based off of me, my ambition, my drive. 100%. I didn't want anybody making any money off of me.
Yeah.
That had any control over me, my hours, everything that I did. I was like, I want to be my own boss.
Yep. So did you get to like go under her wing for a little while and learn the ropes?
Yeah. Okay. And I'm very, very fortunate for that because now I understand how busy she is, and for her to take the time out for me and to kind of shadow her for a little bit.
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Like I said, I wouldn't be here without her.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very, very grateful for that. And yeah, so that's kind of it's kind of where I am today. And just to note, that GNC is out of business now. So
okay.
Yeah, I quit there about a couple months later, went out of business.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, good timing.
Yeah, good timing. You can't beat that any better than that.
Yeah, seriously. I was like,
no wonder you didn't get that raise then, right?
That's what you get, John. I'm calling you out too.
But if you would have got the raise, you probably would have been in business.
Yeah. That's true. And you know what? Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. So, and that's why I'm a firm believer in that. I tell my clients that every day, but everything's, if it seems like bad news now, it's probably a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
And, you got someone looking out over you,
even if you don't see it at the time.
Even if you don't see it at the time.
Yep.
You got someone looking out over you.
Yep.
Yeah, awesome. Did she give you some kind of advice at the beginning that kind of helped you out and stuck along with you?
Oh my, I'm still getting advice. I wake up every day and it's like,
what's the biggest piece of advice so far that you've received?
The best advice that I think of every single day is the advice that my dad gave me because I got my real estate license and he had no idea. He's like, I don't think he really knew what to think. He's a firefighter and he just, he's had his paycheck and his steady job. And here I'm out here like, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Like, he's not like that. But anyway, my dad was like, listen, he's like, you need to listen to every single thing that Mary and Susie tell you, and Missy too. And ever since then, I took that to heart, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this serious, and I'm going to do it the right way. Yeah. And if anybody does it the right way, it's Mary, Susie, and Missy. I wouldn't be here today without all three of them. But Susie got me in the door, and then Mary and Missy kind of took me from there. And nice. So another piece of advice, like if I were to give any advice, I would say to choose who you work with wisely and choose who you take your advice from. Mm-hmm. That is the biggest, most important thing I could ever stress to anybody.
Yeah.
It kind of goes with what I was telling you guys earlier. Like, you got to surround yourself with people who have similar ambition and similar goals. Yep. Their goal and their reputation, Sproat's reputation is unbelievable. I mean, I'm so happy to work for them. Yeah. I've had other agents and agencies try to pick me off, but
sick and loyal.
Yeah, you can't. There's just other things that are priceless. Like I said, I wouldn't be here today without all three of them. So I owe everything I have to those three.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're amazing. I mean, not to mention my clients too.
Yeah.
I love my clients, but I wouldn't be able to take care of my clients without Mary, Missy, and Susie. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Take us to your first transaction. Was it smooth, or how did it go?
Well, I had two at the same time.
Oh dang!
And they were.
Did they know you were new?
Yeah.
They did? Okay.
Yeah, they knew I was fresh.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not going to say their names, but they were kind of like neck and neck. The first accepted offer I had, we ended up having to wait 2 months to close on that. But that was pretty smooth for what it was.
Yeah.
It was a $64,000 house on North Webster Street in Jackson, in town, and it was a fixer-upper.
Okay.
And then my other transaction, if I were to look at it today, I wouldn't really consider it super smooth.
No.
Because
I feel like everyone, when they start out, though, there's always the little hiccups to learn from.
Yeah. I mean, I would say most of it on my end was smooth, actually. I think the buyers were just fed up with the lender and what the hoops that they had to jump through with the lender. Because I ended up taking a lot longer than it should have, but they just didn't. Yeah, they took everything out on me, and like it was just yeah. Yeah, so those were my first two. I haven't thought of those two in a long time.
Yep. Well, you've probably come a long way since then too. So
yeah, a long way.
That's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
But first ones. I mean, you never know. It could be real bad or kind of smooth.
Or you could
yeah. If I
blow it out of the park with your first one, who knows?
Honestly, like if I can go back and redo that again, it'd probably go the same way. Because like I said, like I had everything buttoned up on my end.
Yeah.
It was just a lender. I cannot imagine that.
Yeah. What is the craziest house you found yourself showing or selling or some house that you've been to? The
craziest? Oh man, I got 3 that pop into mind.
Oh man. Let's hear all of them.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Okay. So
gotta prepare for this one.
What do you guys want to hear about first? You want to hear about like just one that's like, what is this? Or
let's do that one.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a house.
I want the stories, the real stories.
There's a house. I was showing my brother-in-law, Jordan Bowman. Shout out to Jordy. They're moving back to Michigan from Texas.
Okay.
And they were like my first, like at the time they were my highest buyers, you know. And he was they were one of my first couple of transactions too. But anyway, I was showing a house up in Lansing because that's where they I don't know, something about those Spartans. I don't know. Showing a house up there and we got to they were like, hey, and he's like a super handy guy too. So he's like, let's go check out the shack in the woods, you know?
Yeah.
But so he's like, he sends me this house. He's like, hey, can we add this on the listing? I'm like, whatever, it's active. We can get in there. So we did it. And we get up to this house and it's like, it looks like an old Victorian style house, but it's huge. And you walk inside and it smells like mothballs. And there's like, you know, on Harry Potter where like there's stairs going everywhere. Yeah. There's stairs going everywhere. Like, have you ever seen one of those?
They weren't moving though, right?
No. No. Yeah. It's like a lesser version. Yeah. Have you ever seen the video of the spiders making webs when they're on drugs?
No.
Oh man, you should check that out.
I feel like after this, I'm gonna. I'm kind of afraid to watch it though.
Well, I mean,
it's not circles.
No, they're like they just don't make sense. You know, it just doesn't look like a traditional web.
No pattern in it, like a
no pattern.
Web.
Yeah, it's like all everywhere. It's like what you would expect if a spider was on drugs.
Okay.
So anyway, that's what this house made me. Well, that's what this house made me think of. I was like, this guy must have been on drugs while he was making this house.
Oh, gotcha.
All the bedrooms were, you had to get like a ladder to get to them. And they were like ledges on the house, and they were, I can't tell like if it was like a 2.5 story or what, like, but you had to go like up and down the stairs, like throughout the house. And then the basement was like, or the kitchen was in the basement and it had just this nasty red tile and a red countertop.
Oh my.
I've never seen a kitchen in a basement. That alone is kind of strange.
It was the most strange house ever, but.
Did they end up buying it?
No.
They
steered clear from that one, thank God.
To see it.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I wonder how long it was on the market for.
You know what, to be honest, I think it's still listed.
Oh,
wow.
And that was 3 years ago.
Wow.
So I've only been selling for 3 years, so I'm sure I'll come across more crazy houses. But so there's that one. Pretty much just didn't make any. There was no floor plan. You could walk down a hallway and walk into a different hallway, and there was just like
didn't make the flow. Like
no flow.
Yeah.
No reason for any hallway. It was like half finished. And like
I'm gonna look this up. The ladders to get up to the bedroom. Really interesting to me.
It was like it was a 4-bedroom house, and yeah, it was just so weird. I was like, I'm not getting up there. You can get up there, Jordan, but
yeah.
Really.
At your own risk.
Yeah. We can't even get up there now. How are we gonna get up there when it's time for bed?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've been drinking.
Well, yeah, I know, right? And he's a drinker too. I mean, I'm not staying here, George. You can figure this one out.
Yep.
But so there was that one. That was the one that didn't make any sense at all. And then the coolest one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the coolest one I have listed right now. It's got an airplane hangar. It's 7630 Lansing Ave. Attached.
If you're interested.
Yeah. That is a cool one, but
it has an airplane hangar, huh?
Does it have a runway?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's got a runway in the backyard.
Is it the neighborhood off of Lansing Ave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Airway Estates. Yep.
That's a nice neighborhood.
So it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful house. So it's got a private airstrip in the backyard, an airplane hangar attached to the house with your 4-car garage attached to the house, 3,100 square foot, huge master bedroom, giant. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Really good area.
7630 Lansing Ave. Logan Everett sells realestate.com. You can check it out on there.
Exactly.
No, so that is a cool one. But there's one I sold to one of my lenders, actually. One of my lenders I work with really closely. I don't know if I should be dropping names on this one.
You don't have to.
He works with other realtors, but anyway, I sold it. And it was one of the most unique houses because you walk in, well, first off, you pull up and it's got like one of those half circle drives.
Yep.
And it's huge. I think that house was about 3,000 square foot too. And then it's got like you can walk right, like, or it's got I can't think of it right now. I'm having a brain fart. One of those.
Outside? Like an awning?
Like a big walk. It's got a fancy name to it. I can't think of it.
Like an entrance
I know what you're talking about.
Like a grand entryway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like covered. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it covers, it's like a huge brick entryway. And it's got French doors and then two huge windows to the right of the French doors. So it's got like a grand entryway.
Oh, nice.
And then you open up the French doors and the drywall like rounds off on both sides.
Oh, wow.
And then you step down in the huge living room and you can see just giant windows and it overlooks a pond, like a private pond.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah. It is so big. But it was really nice. That's kind of like, it's about the same size as my Lansing Ave listing.
Okay.
But I think it's a little more grand because of like the other like custom features. Yeah. Yeah. Like that curved drywalls.
Yep. Any creepy homes?
That's not something easy to put out.
I wouldn't imagine so. Yeah.
Creepy homes?
Yeah. Any creepy homes?
Oh, man. Yeah. There's one house.
Like the ones where you walk in, you're like, I'm out.
Yeah. There's a couple. Yeah. In town, I can't remember what street it was. I mean, not the best part of town, I don't think. But I was walking up the door. And I did the combo, got the key. I got there before my client. It was like 10 minutes before he got there too.
Oh, so you're there alone?
I remember this. Yeah. And I went to unlock the door and I open it and normally I'll go in, turn on all the lights and everything. But for some reason I opened up the door and I took a look in there and I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it on this one. Like,
no, I'm not
just
going
got
to.
a real weird feeling. It was the weirdest thing. And I was like, oh, like,
man,
all right, well, now I'm like kind of creeped out. Though, right? Yeah. Yeah. And of course, so, I don't know. It was just like, if you've ever been in like a creepy house, it's a feeling you can't really explain. Like, it's a genuine feeling. And it's like, I didn't really like go in there right away. And,
did you show the basement in that one?
I didn't. No, actually, no. I was literally that creeped out. I was like, all right. I was acting
Here's the basement. Check it out if you want.
And I always go down there, like unless it's like one of those where I'm like, all right, well, this buyer's not interested, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. I'll
always go down there like still. And this one, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go. I'm going to go check this porch out.
I'll let you guys go inside.
I was like, I just got the weirdest vibes ever.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, it was just like weird.
I'll meet you outside when you're done with the basement.
Well, I couldn't do that because the wife was upstairs and she had left all the lights on. So
so you had to go back in and go.
Yeah, I had to go back in by myself
and turn off the lights.
Oh my God, I was like just trying to like
running.
I was trying not to run because you see the scary movies, they always get you when you run. So I was just walking kind of like real stiff, trying to get out of there.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. So
yeah, I don't know, nothing crazy. I haven't really had a ton of scares. One time I was showing my teacher, one of my old teachers, a house in the basement, and a mice ran out of a window. That scared the crap out of me. But that was like, I think that was really the only time I screamed like girl and ran. And it had to be in front of it was Mr. Klinger. I'll give you a shout out.
He's a math teacher, right?
Yeah. He was my baseball teacher.
Yeah.
Or my baseball teacher. He was my baseball coach.
Yeah.
He was a big reason why I was All-State in
my
senior year too. So thinking about you.
Yep. Awesome. Anyway,
but nothing like super creepy like that. But
awesome. Well, where do you see yourself in the next couple of years?
Mm-hmm. Well, business wise, or just like
whatever you like.
Yeah,
anything's all good. Business wise, probably, but
so my wife, she likes to think like she doesn't really like to think ahead, and like I do. So like I'm like kind of a penny pincher for that reason because I'm like, what if I'm one of those people. So like in 5 years, in an ideal situation, if things are going the way they are, I think I'd still like to keep selling real estate. I mean, because it's I like to meet people. I like to meet we're meeting you guys on my podcast.
Yeah, look where it's taking you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like what I'm doing, but on the other hand, I don't know. It's really hard to tell what a 5-year plan would be.
Yeah. Did the pandemic kind of affect you in the beginning? I mean, I know like real estate was shut down for a little bit, so.
Yeah, the pandemic, that was, I think that affected everybody, but I remember like a week into it, I was like, all right, like I haven't lost any deals. And at the time I had pending sales and then the second week of the shutdown came, and then that's when I was starting to get the calls. Buyer lost their job. We're going to be backing out of this. So I was like, all right, well, give me that in writing. Cause like, I was like, and then that ended up being a chain of reactions because, the buyer backed out on the very first person that backed out because of the shutdown. That was a listing that I had, and those sellers had an offer on another house. And it set off like a chain of like 7 different houses. Which
the domino effect.
Yeah, that was the domino effect that I think I lost like 6 deals during the pandemic. But we ended up, it's really weird. It's the weirdest thing because when we were out of, I actually closed 3 deals during shutdown though. So I was sitting on my couch and we closed remotely. So those people were essential workers. That was pretty cool. And that's what kept me afloat, and so, but like after shutdown, I ended up making up for those transactions that we lost. And it was, like I said, there's no words I will ever be able to describe the real estate market after the shutdown because I couldn't put my phone down.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I was getting calls left and right.
Yeah, you probably the same.
Yeah.
We remember the same thing.
Yeah.
Just like I can't remember the date she called, said we could go back to work, but we were up all night just answering the phone to get scheduled. It was like, texting too at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, I remember that.
There's no words to put that. There's no words to describe that. And the real estate market in Michigan actually was up 22% despite the shutdown from 2019.
That's crazy.
So that's crazy. I mean, like nobody would have saw that coming.
No, especially because like it took what was in 2 months and like it just brought it all back in like the next 2 months. Next 2 months, it's just like,
seriously,
what we're going to do here is now double for these ones.
Right.
So,
seriously. Yeah. Like, and my sales still went up from 2019. And it feels like just yesterday that it was shut down because my phone hasn't stopped ringing since. You know?
Yeah. It's been a whole year now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a full year.
Yeah.
Dang.
Really weird.
Yeah.
But really nice. I mean, at the same time.
Awesome. Yep. Well, if you had to if you had to start all over and you had all your knowledge, but you only had $1,000 in your pocket, what would you do?
How would you spend that?
$1,000?
Yep. You had everything like from your mentors and everything that everyone taught you.
So basically today, if I had $1,000,
And you had to start all over.
Yeah.
what would I do?
You had no clients or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. That's a great question. What would I do with $1,000? Put it all in stocks. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, whatever works.
That's what you want to do. Yeah.
Go make some more and then come back and
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. Stocks aren't my thing. I would do, what would I do? How would you grow $1,000?
Well, what did you do in the beginning?
That's a good
How did
question.
you market yourself?
Because you guys were in the basement, living in the basement. You didn't. It's not like you guys had $100,000 sitting in the bank back
Well,
then.
it's true. And it costs a lot to start up as a realtor. And I actually had to, my parents had to loan me money so I could get pay for all my association and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But advertising was free on Facebook, so I didn't really have to pay anything.
Hey, there you go. You don't need to spend nothing.
I already had a huge
Save that,
following base from bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
What would I do with $1,000? That's the question of the day. I would probably, you know what I would do? I would start a moving company, and I would pay to probably wrap a vehicle and then help people move and then kind of grow from there. Because I think that's probably the lowest startup cost business that you could grow from ground zero.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I've never been there, done that. But if I were to think, everybody needs help moving,
Yep.
So I don't know. I think that's what I would do with $1,000. Really start kind of grind it out. I mean, moving isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yep.
I've lived in probably 13 different places now.
Yeah.
But shoot, I've done my fair share of moving.
Every time we moved, I strategically was pregnant every move, so I didn't have to do anything.
That's smart. That's really smart.
Yeah, every single one.
Maybe I should try that.
Yeah, right.
A broken leg.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't lift this.
Oh my God.
I got my doctor's note.
Is that handwritten in crayon?
I know. Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. Is there any business books that you read that you could recommend to anybody?
I don't know.
Well, you listen to podcasts. What kind of podcast would you suggest maybe?
Listening. So, I mean, I like to listen to informational podcasts. I'm one of those boring people, probably. I don't listen to anything.
I listen
Knowledge
to
is power.
NPR.
Knowledge is power. Yeah. I don't know. I like learning odd things here and there, but informational or business books, you said?
Kind of anything informational works fine too.
Anything informational? Shoot. I listen to.
What do you listen to for podcasts? What's your favorite one?
I mean, Joe Rogan. Who doesn't listen to that one?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Joey, old Joey.
Yep.
He's got, he gets all of these different kinds of people on there. You
I know.
learn a bunch of random facts, and these people,
I know.
I mean, they're set to talk about one thing, and then they end up talking about 10 different things, and you're like, oh my gosh, I never even thought about thinking about that before. It's like they really open your mind to things. But I really don't read too often because like I said, I surround myself with people. If I have a question, I know exactly who to call.
That's awesome.
So, I just get it straight from the source instead of reading through, because who's got time to read?
Audio books.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
Podcasts where you're going to learn.
Yeah.
So just surround yourself. My best advice, I mean, reading is good, but reading is not in my alley. Like I said, college and I didn't get along, and there's a lot of reading involved.
Yeah.
Nobody's got time. I don't have time to read. I want to do other things. But surround yourself with people. Diversify your the people that you hang out with. If you don't know something about stocks, my brother-in-law. Actually, all three of my brother-in-laws know a lot about stocks, and I just go straight to them. Like, hey, if I get a question, I surround yourself with Mary, Missy, and Susie. I don't, I'm not an expert. Every day you learn something, but you just go straight to the source. That's what I do.
Nice.
So kind of cut corners.
What's that listing that you have right now? What's the address one more time?
7630 Lansing Ave.
Oh yeah,
Jackson.
Awesome. How can people get a hold of you, and where can they follow you at?
You can follow me. You can type in my name, and I'm probably everywhere by now because of how I advertise, but you can find me on Google. You can find me on Facebook. Just type in my name. My phone number is 517-775-1388. That's my cell phone too.
Sweet. What's your website again?
Yeah. LoganSellsRealEstate.com.
Sweet.
Nice.
Is there anything else you want to share with everyone before we go?
No, but thanks for having me on. This is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What was that?
Good to have you.
What was that listing again?
Okay, one more time for everybody.
7630 Lansing Ave, Jackson, Michigan.
Sweet. Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks for coming on and telling us your story.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. Hope to be back soon.
Are these working? Here we go.
Oh, there we go. I think they're working. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. What do we got to point at? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. Like
It might be there.
might be right there too,
Somewhere.
somewhere.
Find it. It's red.
Yeah. And it's
Red.
blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah. I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review for listening to on Apple. That'd be cool.
5
5-star
stars,
review.
guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take
But-
4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
No, I don't think this is working.
This is not working.
Yeah.